Hey there, folks, and welcome back to the I Am CDB project. I'm your host, CDB, you're not, and today it is shaving related content, and we're going to use Cella, which is a fine soap because there was a fellow who emailed me having trouble generating a good lather with Cella, so we will show you how to do so. It's not difficult, just takes a little bit of effort, as lathering all soaps does. Today we're going to use an old school razor, this Gillette Senator, which is a twist to open comb, as you see there. If memory serves, I believe this was made around 1938, 1939, so very old razor. You don't see these a lot. They're, not extremely difficult to come by, but when you do find them, they're usually a little bit pricey because they're certainly more rare than the other Gillette twist to opens. There's also a gold in color one like this called the Sheraton, I believe, which I have out there. Okay, let's get started with the Cella. What I do, folks, and the first thing regarding Cella, do not load on top of your Cella and get water in here. It will ruin it. I have ruined it. So take my word for that, based on my experience. What happens is if you get too much water in here, it loses its scent, and it has a beautiful almond scent. And then it starts to turn brownish, and then there's virtually no scent, and it doesn't perform very well in my view after that. So here's the way I do it, and this will keep it safe. First of all, we have our Captain's Choice bowl, which is really my favorite bowl to load from or making any sort of lather. I take my cosmetic scooper, which you see here, and I will scoop out. Well, you can't see that. I'll just scoop across the top like so. Scoop a good bit. If you're having trouble, I recommend you go heavy. You're never going to hurt anything by using more soap than you need. Smash it in the bottom there, like so. I'm going to get it just a little bit more, although I probably don't need it. Just to show you, you're not going to hurt anything. We'll put a little more in there. And I'll just, make sure it's in there. I'll press it in the bottom of the bowl, like so. And there we go. So there we have it. Plenty of soap in there, and I'm going to set my Cella aside so it doesn't fall in the water, because I'm telling you, it will have an effect on your Cella. It has mine, and it has a number of other people. So my brush, I dipped in the water. I'll squeeze most of the water out, not all. And I'll simply start. I like to make back and forth. Well, I'm spilling it, but I like to make back and forth motions and then circle a little bit. If you do circle, make sure you circle in the other direction. You don't want to just continually wear your brush in one direction. And it might start out bubbly like that. That's okay. You're going to work it into something. That is the goal, is to take that and work it into something. And right now, when it's bubbly like that, you don't need to add more water. So it's got enough water already. Eventually we will, but you'll keep working it, like so. And right now, this is not what you want. See, bubbly. Keep going. Keep working it. And after a little bit, I will add a little water to this. And I'll just take a few drops like so and continue to work it. And actually, here I'm making a bowl lather here, but as I continue to work it, you'll notice you'll see less bubbles, but they're still there, so it needs to be worked. If you continue to work this, and I will, you'll eventually get it where you want. You add a little water slowly, a few drops like so. Keep doing that. Meanwhile, make sure you press down a little bit, but not too much, because you're still trying to get to that soap on the bottom of the bowl. And as you continue, you'll whip it into something nice, and you'll see here in a moment it will come out nicely. And there we have it. It's starting to look the way we want it. No longer extremely bubbly. Still a little bit, so I need to work a little bit more. But this is essentially the method I use. Add a little water, work it, add a little water, work it. And as you can see here, it's starting to turn into something nice. And before you know it, you'll have a nice lather. And as you can see there, the bubbles are almost worked out. So I will work out the rest of these bubbles, and then we'll come back, wet the face, and get going. Stay tuned. All right, so I worked this about another 35, 45 seconds, and I want to show you now what we have, which is what you see here. It's no longer super bubbly. See how it peaks like so? Now you've got good stuff with your Cella, and that's exactly what you want. And it just takes a little bit of effort. And when you're new, it takes, you know, quite a bit of time till you figure out the amount of water you need to the soap and, you know, your lathering effort there. All right, let me wet the face and we'll really get started. Stay tuned. All right, and here we go with our Cella, which is a fine classic soap, almond scent. And if you don't know what that smells like, kind of like cherry, similar, or marzipan type. Similar to cherry, in my view, or at least to my sniffer. And as you can see there, no problem with the lather. This is a good quality soap. Almost everyone who gets into trying a lot of soaps at some point tries Cella, and most agree that it's a fine soap, but it's also sold in a large brick format, hard. But this one is in the tub, and this is a newer tub, newer within the last couple of years, because I ruined my other one, like I said at the beginning of the video. So be careful. One of the things you do have to do when you're lathering this is you do have to add water. You don't want to add too much at one time, but you do need it. So make sure you're giving a little water, work it, give it a little water, work it. And as you can see, this lather here is just fine. This is a good quality soap, and it's almost universally revered as such. Oh, by the way, there will be a giveaway today, so you want to stay tuned, or giveaway announcement, I should say. Okay, here we go with the Gillette Senator, which is, like I said, again, made in 1938 or 39, I want to say. Very good old school razor, has stood the test of time, works well. I really like it. Again, they're not super easy to find, and sometimes the price on them is crazy. So if you find one in an antique shop or something for not a lot of money, it's in your best interest to pick it up, even if you just want to sell it on eBay or something, because if it's in good shape, it's indeed a gem, because, you know, there's not many of them around, and they're a little harder to find as compared to your Gillette Slim and Super Speeds and all the twist to open Gillette models. And I really like the open comb on this myself. By the way, Derby Extra is the blade. I feel, and I've said this before, this is one of the things that I was wrong about. And I think the difference between me and some folks is I'll freely admit when I'm wrong and come back and tell you. And after I rinse the face, I'll come back and tell you how and why I was wrong about Derby. So stay tuned for that. All right, here we go. Pass 2. Back to Derby. Edwin Jagger used to ship their razors with Derby. I believe they use Feather now, or Astra. I think it's Feather, if I'm not mistaken. And a lot of people used to get Edwin Jagger as their first razor. And it's a fine first razor, and it's a fine razor for any level of shaver, in my opinion. Like the D8, what is it, D something 39, I can't remember now. It's been so long. But anyway, they shipped Derby blades with the Edwin Jagger. And at the time, and probably still today, most people would see videos like from Joe Fatboy or someone using an Edwin Jagger razor, which is a great razor. And it's a good razor for beginners in particular. And so they would buy that razor, as I did, and use the Derby blade. And when you're first shaving, it takes time for your face to get accustomed to, well, first shaving in a traditional fashion with a, single blade and a safety razor. It takes time for your face to adjust, and it takes time to learn technique, how much pressure is required, and all the rest. So what used to happen, in my estimation, would be people picked up the Edwin Jagger razor with the derby blades, and also they're inexpensive, so people would buy a 100-pack on Amazon or what have you. And it was during the time when they were learning to shave, and they'd have a poor experience and naturally blame the blade. Later, after several years, I went back to Derby and tried them. And what I found was, for about 2 shaves, the Derby Extra is okay for me. But any more than that is pushing it. You're not going to get 3 shaves. You're not going to get 4 shaves, or at least I'm not. But for 2 shaves, it does just fine. Perhaps not quite as sharp as some of the other blades, but it really does an okay job for 1 or 2 shaves. That's my opinion on Derby. I think it really suffered a poor reputation because people who were newer to wet shaving would tend to use it because it was so easily available and inexpensive. And then it was more about them not at that point knowing how to shave and their face not being prepared for this style of shaving, in my view, than the blade actually being poor. Because as you can see, it's working just fine for me, but I will not push it past 2 shaves. Folks, there's nothing to gain from pushing blades and trying to get squeeze shaves out of them. There's only a downside to that, which is you get a crappy shave or you cut yourself or who knows what. So don't push blades. There's no reason to do it. All right, that was an excellent second pass. Stay tuned. Between pass 2 and 3, we will announce the giveaway for this week. Stay tuned. All right, and for this week, we have a soap by Ginger's Garden. This is called Hell or High Water. Very masculine scent, I think cedar. She sent this to me to try some months ago, and I told her at the time, you know, I'll scoop some out and give it away, and I'm just now getting around to giving it away. Very masculine scent. So if you like masculine woodsy type scents, this will be for you. Of course, I scooped a little off, but did not load off of it with my brush. So Hell or High Water by Ginger's Garden. And we'll also give away another Shave Revolution open comb razor. And this one has a stainless steel wave handle. So that will be up for giveaway. So please, when you enter, shoot me an email to, let me wet my face while I'm talking here. cdb@imcdb.com and mention Ginger's Garden and Shave Revolution, and I will enter you for the giveaway. Sometimes I get questions. Will I ship it to Europe or what have you if someone wins? Yes, and I have drawn folks from Europe and so forth and have shipped it to them before. Yes, it costs more, but it's open to everybody, so we don't exclude anyone, unless the only time I make an exclusion is for when I have aftershaves that I'm giving away, because you can't ship aftershaves in the U.S. mail. So that's the only time I exclude international. The rest of the time I leave it open. So again, email me, cdb@imcdb.com, and mention Ginger's Garden and Shave Revolution razor, and we'll draw next week. The cutoff for this, let's say, is this coming Thursday. This might be the last giveaway I do prior to Christmas, because I'll get busy around Christmas time preparing to do all the Christmas stuff. So if this is the last giveaway, I'll still do videos, I'm sure, but just won't have time to ship things. I will resume again in the new year, so you can look forward to that. I just like to share things, and especially if soaps or products are sent to me, I like to, if I can, give them away, because I don't keep them for myself. I don't get sent a lot of stuff anymore. Occasionally I'll get a soap or something, but I don't get sent what I used to, because I'm not buying as much as I used to, as I've told you before, and I'm I don't have as many viewers as I used to, because I'm not buying all that stuff, and probably because A gentleman rightly mentioned yesterday my attitude towards or approach to the way I did videos changed over the last couple of years, and it became more value driven and less buy every soap that's out there and talk about it. And a lot of people want to see that, and I understand they do, but I'm not doing that because, like I said, I'm not here to cause everybody to waste a whole lot of money. I'm here to be a good steward of your dollar. That's the direction that I'm going. All right. But when I do have things I can give away, I'll do so because I do appreciate your time watching these videos and so forth. And that was a beautiful shave, ladies and gentlemen. I got to tell you. All right. Let me rinse the face. We'll come back to the post. Stay tuned. Alrighty, and in comes the magic made by Witch's Thayer's Witch Hazel, which of course you see here every single day for good reason. Sorry, the sink is draining. Let me just let it drain out so you don't have to hear all that mess. Let's double up on our Thayer's while I do that. Alright, and while that sets, we'll talk a little bit about the products we use. Yesterday I forgot to mention the razor, so today I'll try to remember. Gillette Senator from, I think, circa 1938 or 39. Really wonderful razor. If you see one at an antique store for a decent price, pick it up. It really is a nice razor. And also, we use Cella. And you've seen how to lather, at least my method. Just take your time, add water slowly, and make sure you use enough soap in your bowl, what have you. I do not recommend that you load on this puck because I've seen what happens when you get water on Cella. It's not a good thing. Razor Rock Big Bruce, one of my favorite brushes at any price. And today we'll finish things off with a beautiful aftershave from Stirling, Tuscany. And I cannot describe the scent to you on this. It's a bright scent. It's beautiful. A fellow named Philip Sylvester recommended it to me last year or the year before. It's a nice scent, and it sort of complements Cella. It's bright. Again, you can go to the website and look at the scent description. I'm not here to parrot for you what's on their promotional. And not speaking of Stirling in particular, I'm just saying I'm not here to parrot, what they put on their website. You can go and easily find that yourself. But I really do like Tuscany, and thank you, Phil Sylvester, for recommending it. So that wraps this shave up. I hope you have enjoyed. It went a little long due to the Cella demo, but I hope the gentleman watching will get some value out of that, and perhaps some of the rest of you. Thanks so much for watching. Till next time, I've been your host, CDB. You are not.